What's up, everybody? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? No?
I can hear you.
Oh, cool. Let's give people a few minutes.
I have given this.
Who's giggling back there?
That's my wife.
Tell her to pipe down.
Pipe down.
Stop having so much fun. My lunch here.
Sweet.
How's it going, man? Thanks, Sue. Thanks, Sue. Can you guys hear me? I'm on mute. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Dylan, you're muted.
No, I'm not.
Wow.
I'm here.
Tatiana. What's up? Look at you. You're gonna be a ClickFunnels master soon.
No. Not at
How
all.
come I can't hear you?
You can't hear me?
Something weird's going on. Dylan, talk.
I can hear her. I can hear Tatiana.
But I can't hear you guys.
Yeah, I can hear Dylan and Tatiana, and I can hear you, Quan.
Oh,
Yeah.
What's up?
okay. You know, I sat in that chair all day yesterday trying to figure out ClickFunnels, and I'm still.
Something's not going right. I can't hear people.
You can still hear me?
Oh,
I can hear you
I know
better.
why. I know exactly why. I had the volume down really low. Idiot.
And you think you're going to run a fit body boot camp and you can't figure out the volume?
Yo, listen, I just keep things on high or off. Hey, Jody.
Nope.
Jen Bates in the house.
Sort of.
So, looks like Steve Briscoe likes Club Ready.
Well, he's a braver man than I.
Well, than most, because for every one person that likes it, I hear 100 people just are miserable.
Well, Steve was also one of the beta testers, I believe, if there actually were beta testers. So I do know he was getting into it early. So perhaps he's also got a team in place and he can spend time. I mean, there's two of us, right? And we started with Club Ready before we opened. And not exaggerating, we have hundreds and hundreds of hours into this system. And it probably took me a couple days to learn Zen Planner. Zen Planner is super, super simple. It's not as powerful as Club Ready, but it is so much easier to learn.
You know, the thing is, going back to some of the things that Bedros talks about in terms of being really successful in a business is keeping things simple. And my perception of this, and having not even, I don't even know what Club Ready looks like, right? I haven't seen it. I'm staying away from it until I need to. And maybe that's probably the wrong way to approach it, but seems to me this is completely contrary to that advice.
Well, he's got a lot invested in it in both time and money. So the idea of him changing course is is going to be difficult. I mean, I know he tells the story about buying that building across from the prison, but that affected him and mainly him. Like if we switch out of Club Ready at this point, it's going to affect a lot of people. So I don't know if that's going to make him a little more slow to make a change.
Yeah, but I think what he can rest on or rest easy on is that it's probably going to be a positive impact rather than a negative impact. Yeah, we switched into it. You made us do it. Most of us hate it, you know, and you made a decision to go back to something simpler. Now, you know, we have to switch gears again, but, you know, switching gears to something simpler and easier, I'd buy that.
Yeah, me too. But I'm pretty convinced that he's selling this system on the side. He's selling his automated system to non-fit body bootcamp owners. I mean, there are thousands of emails in there that they've written and plugged in already. And after reading them and after seeing them, we shut every single one off. We've been alerted to some of them that were, I just don't think they're appropriate. And listen, he knows business way better than me. But I deal with these people face to face. And when I get a comment, or another owner gets a comment like, hey, what's up with this letter? Body shaming. I mean, it's just not, it's not appropriate in this day and age. And I would be willing to bet that, oh God, what's his name with the long hair? At HQ.
Oh, Sean Mabry.
Sean wrote every single one of these emails. I mean, they've got hundreds of hours invested in the system. So how many of you guys, there's a few of you, how many of you are open right now?
I am.
So Eric's open, Tatiana's not, Jen I know is not. I don't know who Mrs. Tai is. He or she is muted. I know you're, oh, there we go.
Well, we only have 7 participants, which is disappointing.
Well, it's a gorgeous Saturday, at least here in the Northeast, and we've been going nonstop. And Brunetta's at a graduation today, and she's at a graduation next Saturday. There's all sorts of stuff going on. What I really wanted to do was just chat with everybody and catch up. I don't need to stand on my soapbox and start bitching about Club Ready because we would be here for way too long. I just want to make everybody aware of a few things. And if you guys aren't open, hopefully they'll have fixes by then. But there's really no, and we've been going back and forth with Club Ready. And one of my biggest gripes is that they treat us like children. Chris Smith is, man, they make everything sound so simple. Oh, you just do this, this, and this. And what they don't listen to the question that you're asking. So for example, I'm trying to get a report on how, or like who hasn't checked in the last few days, right? Seems simple. On Zen Planner, it was a joke to do. It was one or two clicks. We could see who hadn't checked in. I would export that to Excel, and I would make notes all over the place, and we would contact people like, hey, you haven't been here in 7 days. What's going on? I mean, they loved it. It was customer retention. It's monster follow-up that Bedros talks about all the time. So I'm trying to run that report here in Wilton, and there is a report for it for members. Now, Club Ready differentiates between members and prospects. So if you mix them together, it ends up screwing up your numbers because HQ is going to think, or you're going to think, and it's important to try to figure out what your numbers are, that people who came for a 21-day trial and then ended up not staying, that's going to seem like you sold them, right, on a membership, which it's not. It's a trial. They call it services in Club Ready. It's going to look like you sold them a membership and then you lost them. So your close rate is going to be super high and your retention rate is going to be super, super high. So I'm trying to separate them out, right? I'm trying to figure out how do I do this. So there's a report that they created for us in Club Ready that shows members and their last check-ins, like the total number of check-ins. So I'm going through that report for a specific date. and I see somebody that's never checked in, not in the last 2 weeks. But I know they were there. They were there last Saturday. I know she was there. So I'm looking at the stuff. And I think what everybody needs to understand is that Club Ready is not at all designed for Fit Body Bootcamp. Like, not even slightly. It's designed for a big box gym. So there are differentiations between checking into the club and checking into the class. And then there's other services that you can buy. So what they did is that report that they created specifically for Fit Body Bootcamp, when you check people in through the app, right, there's a kiosk app, which we use, which works very well. They punch in their phone number, they select the session that they want, they put in their phone number, they hit awesome, and boom, they're in. It's really good. It works great. Knock wood, it hasn't crashed. So what that does is it checks them into the class and the club at the same time. They like design this behind the scenes for us. Great, that works awesome. So what I'm having a problem with is people who forget to check in. They run into late to class. They walk on the mat. We don't catch them. They just hop on the mat and they start doing their thing. So you can't retroactively check them in. And if you check them in if you go to their profile and you say, hey, this person was in this class, you're registering them for like the class, but not the club, or vice versa. Honestly, I can't even tell the difference. But they won't appear on that report. Right. And then you got to go someplace else to check them in for that day only. So you cannot go back and check somebody in yesterday. So what we did is, we didn't have the kiosk app working for a good 2 weeks because there's so much other stuff to do in Club Ready. We literally just couldn't even get that operational. We just didn't have the time. So we went back and literally hand selected name after name after name and put them into these sessions. So, but because we did it through the desktop retroactively and not the app itself on our iPad, none of those sessions counted. So if I wanted to call up a number and say, hey, Sarah, you've been here for 50 sessions. That's awesome. I'm so happy for you. Here's a mug. Here's a t-shirt. The number that I'm reading from this report that they created is totally wrong. So for us anyway, now that you guys have that information, you have to make sure that if you're checking them in the way we do, which is through the kiosk app, you have to make sure you check them in right then and there. So we make people get off the mat now. Bernetta, my wife, who's my partner, will literally walk around the desk to the iPad and punch in people's numbers individually because they're working out. There's also, you can do I believe a thumbprint on this app, which is pretty cool. But unless you have their thumb, you can't check them in. So it's a real problem. I was told, so let's take this to step 2 now. So we figured out, okay, we can run this report, or we can figure out how to run this report. We know what we've been doing wrong to get members and figure out who has not been there. But the real issue for us is prospects, right? Prospects and members are totally separate. They're literally separate tabs. It's not like you can search Club Ready for Jane and then all of the Janes will pop up. You have to go to members over here and search for Jane, and then you're like, wait a minute, she didn't join yet, or she's a 21 day. Then you got to go back to the prospects and search for Jane.
So in other words, in that case, there's no global search of the database.
No. You have to know if they're a prospect or a member. And let's say you've got an admin or a coach or something who isn't exactly up on who just joined and who's finishing up a trial and who's on a challenge. It's not like it's going to take them an hour longer, but it's an extra step. So they have to search through both members and prospects separately. So because they're separate, the reports that you run to try to find who hasn't been around are also separate. And for prospects, there is no report. So Chris Smith had me pull this spreadsheet from hell, which was 1,000-something cells long. And he's like, okay, well, you sort them by prospect type, And then you sort by the last time they came in. And then what you have to do is you have to cross-reference another report. And I read that, and I just didn't respond to him. I mean, like, what am I doing here? I'm just totally wasting my time. So I went on a couple of other boards. I assume you guys have all heard about FitPro Tracker at this point. I've been asking questions around. And I'm also in the mastermind. And apparently there's a way to create an automation in Club Ready that will alert you when a prospect or a member has not shown up for 7 days. So I haven't done it yet. I haven't been shown how to do it, but when I'm shown how to do it, I will show all of you guys how to do it. Because if you don't know when people are coming in, if you've got 100 members or 150 people coming through the doors and you're trying to sell them, you want to make sure that you're on top of them, especially if they're not showing up. You may not remember that Sally didn't show up for the past couple of days, or maybe she told you that she's away for a week and you totally forgot. So one of the most important things we do is follow up with people who don't show up. Like, that's what makes us not a gym, right? We do when we do our orientations, we do I don't have a drawing here, but picture a 3-legged stool, right? Boom, 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 a 3-legged stool. And we tell them, look, there are 3 legs to the fitness stool, the metaphorical fitness stools, I like to say. Number 1 is nutrition. If you buy Nutrisystem, or you buy Lean Cuisine, or you go to Weight Watchers or Jenny Craig or something like that, there's no fitness involved, and maybe there's accountability. If you go to a big box gym, you show up and they give you access to equipment, right? They give you access, but they don't tell you what to do unless you pay them extra for a trainer who may or may not give a hoot about you. All right, hang on, Eric. Let me just finish, because otherwise I'll forget. I have the memory of a squirrel. And then the last thing is, I already forgot. So the big box, the last thing is at-home work. I'm telling you, it's terrible. The last thing is at-home workouts, right? Your clients have a Peloton, or they're doing P90X, or they're doing Jane Fonda, or whatever. None of those videos are going to tell them, hey, where are you? You haven't ridden me. You haven't thrown the tape in. So we tell them we do all 3 things here, right? If you don't show up, we're going to track you down. We provide you with accountability, with nutrition, and we do all the workouts for you. So you don't have to do anything. So for me, the way we sell the business is all about the accountability, is partially about the accountability, right? So let's see what Eric had to say.
So yeah, I just wanted to make sure I was hearing this right. I mean, there is the little search icon in the top right of the screen when you search their name. So whether they're a prospect or a member, if you search their name, it should show a P or an M next to their name. And that's a way you can differentiate instead of going through the tabs.
So if you do a global search for them, I'm trying to pull it up now. So if you do a global search, it'll tell you what they are. And then you have to search for them in either the prospects or the member tab?
Well, no, like in the little search icon, you'll type their name out, and it'll pop up all the search results. Maybe you'll have a few people named Jennifer, but you're looking for like Jennifer Bates, right? It should show their name, and then next to it, it'll show a P or an M, and that will differentiate if they're prospect or a member, so you don't have to switch between the tabs to figure out which one they're in.
All right, so I see the P and M. All right, hang on. So let me do this one. Oh, it takes you right to them. Huh.
Right.
See, I told you it's powerful, but it's friggin' complicated. All right, I just learned something today. This is why I wanted to do this Zoom call, so that I could learn a thing or two. That's great. All right, I learned something today. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, anybody else want to teach me something? I'm open to learning something else. No takers? All right, have any of you guys started playing around in Club Ready yet? Tatiana, you have? Oh. Neil is our gym. I have not. Okay. So is this just going to be me talking the whole time? I just wanted to chat with everybody.
Well, let's talk about other things. I mean, if it's not just Club Ready is, I think, on a lot of people's minds, you know? Can we address the? Oh, go ahead, Tatiana.
Okay, I have a question. So I haven't really gotten into the FitPro tracker yet, but I hear that there's a capability of tracking our challengers, because that's what we're going to open with. And that's what's scaring me right now, opening up and not being able to keep track of my challengers. Do they have that in FitPro tracker? If we can't do it because Graham says that even the challengers stay in the prospects list.
Yes.
How do we track our challengers?
So there's different prospect types, and HQ has a bunch of them in there already preset. Like, 21 for 67. There's like go program leads and things like that. There's a lot. So we ended up dumping people into HQs. But that triggers another set of issues, and honestly, my wife is more versed on it than I am. But we ended up creating our own prospect types, and then as long as you set everybody up to the right prospect type, then you're fine. If you decide halfway through that, like, you're selling HQs 21 for 67 to somebody else, and then you decide you want to do something else, or you're doing a challenge, a 28-day challenge, you throw everybody into this 28-day group, and then you use it again, it's a problem. Everybody's going to get confused. We have honestly, we have people all over the place, because it was such a convoluted. So if you go to FitPro Tracker, right, there's like 5 different things. There's like a lead, a prospect, a member, and kind of like a not interested,
Contacts.
Contact. There's a bunch of different. There's only 5 different things in Club Ready. There's, I don't know, 2 dozen, 3 dozen.
But in FitPro Tracker too, you can create contact types.
Right, but that's great. That is what you want. So if you're no pun intended, if you're tracking your challengers, they've all got to go into Club Ready, right? They have to go in so you can pay them. You can get paid from them. So I would recommend creating your own lead type. The biggest issue one of the biggest issues we found is creating contracts. Like the contracts were a mess. So we ended up, I don't even understand it still. I don't even know what we did, but we had Graham help us do. Graham is our Club Ready rep, and he's been very helpful. He's a good guy. He's totally overwhelmed with the amount of people who have problems. So contract's another issue, but if you can certainly keep track of them, but we are going to spend the extra dough to use FitPro Tracker, because honestly, between the texting sucks in Club Ready. It sucks, and that's how people want to talk. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get an alert. You have to go back to you get a dashboard, right, where all of your main information is in Club Ready. Then you have to refresh your dashboard to see if anybody texted you. So you don't get an alert like, hey, Jane texted you back, like an actual phone, like something that would make sense. So we're going to switch over. All of our client communication is going to be done through FitPro Tracker. It's just Club Ready. And let me just start screaming for a second. So what I wanted to do was send an email through Club Ready. Not a problem. You type in your email, you do it. It's a clunky system, but it's not a big deal. You send your email out. Blast emails, another issue. But you send a single email out. Now, when you send that email out, it doesn't come back into Club Ready.
Right.
It goes back into whatever email service you signed up with. So we have info@wiltonfbbc.com, right? So that means all of the emails come back into info. So if we use a coach to talk to our clients, either they have to have access to our info at Wilton Fit Body Bootcamp, or they have to have their own email address, even if it's jane@wiltonfbbc.com. So the problem is that you can't go to one place and see the entire back and forth between a coach and a client. You can't even see, like, I can't even see my wife's stuff. The only reason I can is because I can go into our business email address and go take a look and see what she's talked to people about. But if Brunetta has, and this has actually happened, Brunetta has reached out to somebody who hadn't been in a while. And so I looked in her profile. I didn't see anything. So I reached out to her the next day. Hey, we haven't seen you. Well, I just emailed Brunetta and great. So now I look like a dope. So you can't, so within FitPro Tracker, and we're just learning the system ourselves, honestly, but everything is there. So anyone can log in and see all of the exchanges. So if I go on vacation, yeah, right. Brunetta can go in and see, okay, Dylan talked to this person. They talked about nutrition. You know, she's having problems with sugar addiction, whatever. We can store all that information in one spot, as opposed to going into Club Ready, seeing if an email was sent, then going back to info. And then if other emails have come in, then it gets pushed to the bottom. And maybe I don't respond to it. Maybe I know that my wife sent that email, so I leave it marked as unread. And then a few more emails come in and she doesn't see it. So the email system, and no one could give me a straight answer at Club Ready. They're like, oh, you just do this and you just do that. No, just listen to the question. I want to be able to see everything. Like, well, it all comes into the same email. Yes, so now my coaches are going into my business email address. Does that make sense to you? No? Okay, so now I've got to get a coach one for them, and then I have to go through their emails and see what they're saying to our clients. So the email system and the texting system, and sometimes texts just don't send via Club Ready. Sometimes they just don't go out. Just as simple as that. So we've tested FitPro Tracker a little bit. I've sent myself emails, texts, and they seem to work just fine. So we're, like I said, there's a lot of issues with Club Ready. I don't want to keep bashing it because I'm just beating a dead horse, but I would strongly recommend spending the extra coin and looking into a separate system. And we're going to end up using FitPro Tracker. I think we'll all keep each other in the loop in the group. So with our progress, so you guys can know that it's a good system, it's working well, but everybody seems to rave about it. And the fact that Dustin and Bryce are both using FitPro Tracker sort of speaks volumes.
And they both hate Club Ready.
You know, honestly, and I don't have a lot of access to him, but Matt Wilbur's silence on Club Ready has been interesting. He hasn't said anything about it, positive or negative. Again, it's not like we're best buds.
I can tell you that in general, when Matt Wilbur doesn't like some sort of HQ-led initiative, he just stays silent.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. So, like, in other words, like, I went to Domination, right? It was in December. And this is when I was still trying to figure out what I was supposed to do next. Somebody, and I knew about HQ's, like, marketing strategy. I heard about it. And somebody had asked about it. And, you know, the question was more like, you know, so what do you think of HQ's, you know, marketing strategy, the lead launcher and all that stuff? And he just looked back at the guy. He didn't say a word other than no comment.
Well, he knows where his bread is buttered. So,
you know, that, along with just about everybody that I've spoken to who's an owner who has, you know, done well, will tell you, do not rely on their marketing. You're asking for trouble.
Well, we actually we opted out of the Go program. So just so you guys, and again, I think Eric said he's open, but Dina, I don't think she's open. Jen's not open. So just so you guys can learn from our experience, And I think you guys are doing great. I think Kwang Soo is doing a great job of helping everybody get through and getting everybody leads. But we did what HQ said. Like, we waited until we had our website. We waited until we had our Facebook page up. We didn't take the initiative and take control. And then we were ready to we were like, okay, this is when we're opening. And they started to run the Go program. And the leads were few, not a lot of emails coming in. So we were really concerned because, hey, you know, we want a healthy open. And I asked around in the groups. I'm in, just as full disclosure, I co-owned a Fit Body Bootcamp in Scarsdale, New York. And we were using Zen Planner, and so I was in the Fit Body family group for a while. I'm in the Fit Body family group even long before I opened. They never took me out. So I have 2+ years of experience running Fit Body there down in Scarsdale. It was very successful. Our marketing, hit or miss. Anyway, so I wasn't great with my marketing. Jim, my partner, did most of the marketing work. So when we started running the Go program, I asked around. I'm like, this makes sense. Like, what's going on? Like, who are you guys using? And I did a lot of searching in the family group, and I found some names. I had been reaching out to other owners, like, hey, what are you doing? How's this working for you? And I got a name a guy who really helped me out. We had a nice long conversation. And to make a long story short, we dropped out of the Go program and we started over again. We opened with a challenge. We continued the Go program's 6-month giveaway because we started. We'd only been running with it for about a week, and we just continued. It just seemed weird to have it run for a week. We continued to run that for another week, I would say. But in that second week, we teased a challenge. And the teasing really helped arouse interest. No puns intended here, but by the time we were ready to release the challenge, we got a lot of information. We got a lot of interest. We ended up opening with like 120 challengers or so, which was great. And we ended up closing like 90 of them. So, you know, no complaints. Like, everything's working the way it's supposed to work because we dropped out of the Go program. And in terms of Quigo and what they're doing for us, we've been advised to basically compete against HQ. So we're running a 21 for 47, and we've gotten a lot of leads off of that. It's been very successful so far. Getting a couple a day and not spending a ton of money. That's sort of our evergreen program. So instead of the people going to HQ's 21 for 67, they're coming to us. We have more control. We get some money. I know I don't care about $47. I care about selling. But then we rolled right into, from our first challenge, right into another challenge because summer's coming. After Memorial Day, things are really going to quiet down. I'm not exactly sure how we're going to roll in June. I need to talk to our marketing guy. We're going to do another short challenge in July, after July 4th. People eat a lot. They're going to go on vacation for the July 4th weekend. They're going to feel fat. So when they come back, we're going to hit them with a short challenge, just 4 weeks. And then in August, we're going to set up to do a great big challenge in September. So we're trying to work the marketing calendar as far out as we could. But I wanted to do a second challenge right after the first to try to get people in before Memorial Day. Our current 4-week challenge ends the Friday before Memorial Day.
I think, hold on. I think Jody had a question.
Oh, shoot.
I do. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Totally forgot it. Oh, sorry. So we have not opened our doors. In fact, we're just finishing our lease negotiations. So we should be signing that next week.
Cool.
I'm terrified of Club Ready. And so
You should be.
Yeah. So do you suggest that perhaps, I understand it's required by HQ, so can we use it just to check people in and then use the Pro Tracker for everything else?
So, if I can jump in.
Yeah, go ahead.
there are many owners who are doing exactly that. They're using Club Ready for payments and checking people in,
Okay.
and a FitPro Tracker for everything else.
That's exactly what we're going to move towards. I wish I had done that before we opened.
That's
Honestly, you can write great automations in, from what I understand, in FitPro Tracker. I would run everything out of there. You have to, if you're going to do that, you have to make sure there are a lot of different emails that go out of Club Ready systems. There are different types of emails, systems emails, and I can't remember the other name, but you have to shut them all down. Don't just say, okay, I'm going to shut these automations down. There's more.
okay.
And you're going to find that members you're going to get responses from members and be like, how did that email even get out? Like, I thought I turned everything off.
Yeah.
So yes, in answer to your question, if I had it to do all over again, I would spend the extra money. I think Zach should do a Zoom call on FitPro Tracker. Honestly, that'd be nice, because I'd love to listen. But I would only use Club Ready for contracts, taking money, and checking in. And that's all it's required for. Like, that's what you have to do in Club Ready. They can't force you to send those emails out. They can't force you to do anything else. But yes, Jody, that's what I would do if I had to do it again.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Sure, of course. For all the leads we're getting, should I be texting them personally? Does anyone do this? So what we did was, Jen, when we opened, so that depends on where you get the lead from, right? If you get a phone number, I just picked up the phone and called them almost immediately. Like, as soon as a phone number came in from the website, or some other means, like a funnel or whatever, if I got a phone number, if it was a reasonable hour of the day, I would pick up the phone and immediately call them. If they don't answer, then yeah, text them, email them, always keep after them. But people want to talk. They want to, and we've actually had people say to us, wow, that was quick. I just put my phone number in. Well, that's service. Like, that's what you want.
If I can jump in, I'm in lead gen mode, and everybody should be in lead gen mode, whether they're open or not.
Yep.
So every lead that comes from my Facebook lead ad first flows to FitPro newsletter, and that has an added benefit of them being included in all of the nurturing emails that go out from HQ.
Yes.
As soon as those leads hit FitPro newsletter, it flows instantaneously to FitPro Tracker, so I have them in both systems. And in FitPro Tracker, I've set up two things: a welcome email, and then a follow-up text message, which essentially tells them, hey, thank you for your interest in Fit Body Bootcamp. Please check your email, which I just sent to the email address you provided. So when I get a lead, and within a couple of hours, I would send them that welcome email, and then a moment later, I send that SMS text saying, hey, go take a look at your email. For me, I think for me, it's just more efficient to go with the systems, and I have every communication that other than like messages going back and forth on Facebook comments, I have everything recorded in FitPro Tracker.
So you can connect Club Ready and FitPro Tracker too. It just takes, it's another step. There's an API that you have to get from Club Ready, and I need to print out the form to fill out, blah, blah, blah. But once you get that form, you can connect Club Ready to FitPro Tracker. So you're going from FitPro newsletter directly into FitPro Tracker. Do you have Kwang's? Oh, well, you don't have Club Ready open. You don't have it working yet.
No.
So it doesn't even matter.
Is there a limit on the text messaging through FitPro Tracker?
I swear I read that there was like 2,000, but I'm not 100% sure. I thought I read that there was 2,000. Do you remember, Kwan?
Say again?
Do you remember if there was a 2,000 limit on texts from FitPro Tracker? I honestly just don't remember.
The number of texts?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. Like how many people you can text simultaneously?
Or like in a month period, or like in a
in a month.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure there's a limit, but don't quote me on that. Like I said,
I think that we can find out quite easily.
Yeah, it's easy. We can just post it in the group.
In FitPro Tracker, is there a way that you could link the agreements from Club Ready and the emails or text messages that you send out, either the contracts or waivers?
Sort of. So what you can do, what we've set up, and when I say we, I mean my wife. I didn't do any of this. So let's just be honest. So what my wife did is she created an email template in Club Ready. That's a word you'll hear often. It's a template in Club Ready that has a link in it, and we created our own waivers. It's a health form and waiver all together. So we immediately send it out, and after they fill out that information, we get a screen that talks about our sneaker rule, about having no sneakers on the mat. And then when they get past that, there's a video. I think it's about FBBC video that's from, I think it's from Detroit. I think it's on the FBBC University site. I think that's where I got it from. So with that link, what my wife was able to do is literally that email that we send out to prospective people who have come in on a trial, or they're interested. So we type in their name and the email, say, hey, Debbie, whatever it is, and we hit send, and it sends out this template. So she copied and pasted that exact template right into FitPro Tracker and then sent it to herself. So it still has that link that goes right to the waiver. So she clicked on the link, filled out the waiver, and it populated Club Ready. So in terms of the waivers, you can definitely do that in FitPro Tracker, but you still have to set it up in Club Ready to be able to get to capture that link. So you can absolutely do that. In terms of contracts, we have not, and we've tried. We have really tried going back and forth with them to figure out a way to send contracts to people. So for example, somebody wants to join, they rush out of they come to the 5:30 a.m., they rush out, they have to go to work. So getting them a contract is difficult, right? They literally don't have the time to sit down with you. And the contracts from HQ have 4 signatures. So they have to sign 4 times. Yes, 4 times. So we tried to create our own contracts. We did a dozen different things, but at the end of the day, when you send somebody a contract, you can only sign them up for 1 month. Like, we haven't been able to figure out how to send them a 12-month agreement. So if somebody's signing up for like a 21-day for 47, or a challenge that you pay once, like that, you should be able to do. But we can't. We honestly, and HQ Club Ready is not helpful with this. So yes to waivers, definitely. We've done it. We figured out how to do it. But contracts, if you figure it out, man, let me know.
I could probably help you out on that. I've created so many different sales packages with the online installments that you just send them the link, and it sets them up that way. That
would be really helpful. Maybe I don't know, but maybe I don't know how to for you to convey that info. Maybe a Zoom call with maybe just we watch you do it, or it's got to be a way to show everybody. But that would be really helpful for everybody, I think.
Maybe I'll just do like a screen recording.
That'd be awesome.
and then send that out either on the Facebook group or email or something.
That'd be fantastic. That would be much appreciated.
Yeah,
It would save us some time.
I've also started working. One thing I do like about Club Ready, the one thing maybe, is the presentations that you can do too. So what I've been working on is I've created a presentation so that when someone goes to my ClickFunnels, whether it's a challenge or a trial, they sign up for the agreement. Once they sign up for the agreement online, it takes them right to, they hit next on a slide. It takes them to the next slide, and it just does like email lookup. So they'll type in their email, and they hit next after that. It pops up the waiver form with all the information from the agreement that's been put into Club Ready. They fill out their waiver form right there, and then I direct them to a next slide saying, okay, let's book you for your orientation or your first class by using your Club Ready login. And it directs them to our schedule on our website, and they do it from there. So it's kind of like an all-in-one process where I almost don't have to do anything on my end.
Well, that's nice. That's pretty cool. What we did was we send them to a Acuity link, and they schedule stuff that way. Yeah. So it's just we are not. I swear we've been working our asses off on this system, and we still don't have it right. What was the last thing that you said about scheduling? Oh, we aren't using the logins for Club Ready. We actually turn them off. Okay. We don't have people sign up in advance, so we didn't need it for that. We were told, I don't know if it's true or not, by HQ not to use the wellness portal on Club Ready. I don't have any idea why. They just said don't use it. And those logins expire after 24 hours, I've been told. So and we don't use the app either, the NetPulse app. Honestly, before we opened, we tried to get it working, and we literally couldn't get it working. So we just forgot about it. So Eric, how long have you been open?
So I'm basically doing a month-long soft open. I'm kind of doing a weird, different style. I just I talked with Quan, and he kind of convinced me to like more set up a challenge for a grand open later in June. So I'm going to be doing that. But anyways, yeah, so started classes May 1st. And so, yeah, I've been running for a little over 2 weeks now.
Cool. So I'll just tell you guys that are not open. Let me ask you this. Eric, do you have a team?
Nope, I'm a one-man show. So I'm doing all the admin, all the nutritional consultations, coaching all the classes. Yeah, I'm doing it all. Well,
you're a better man than I. I'll just to give you an idea. Who was it? It was Anna Williams.
Yeah.
Is that her last name? She had posted her schedule somewhere, her daily schedule, I think on the Snort page or something.
Oh yeah, with her and kids and stuff like that. Yeah.
I guys that are not open, I can't stress enough. I honestly don't know how Eric is alive, because working, we are literally up at 2:30, 3 o'clock. We sit at the dining room table where I am right now. We work for an hour, 2 hours. We leave for the house at 4:30. We get to the studio at 5. We open at 5:30. We teach classes until 7 o'clock at night. In the middle of the day, we do work all day. We get home by 8. We don't have kids. We have a dog, but that's it. And we're home by about 8 o'clock, 8:30 when we don't have nutrition consultations afterwards. That's Quan, that's something we should talk about, by the way, us as a group, nutrition consultations. And we go to sleep, and then we do it again. And we don't have sessions on Sunday. I don't imagine, I cannot imagine doing this by myself. Like, I literally can't. We're open for just about 2 months. And we're hiring people because we are so busy trying to get stuff done that we don't have enough time. Like, we should have, we paid for Fit Pro Tracker 2 weeks ago. We literally haven't had time to set it up, literally, because we're so busy. So I don't want to scare anybody who's not open. And I'm sure Eric, I'd love to hear Eric's experience. Man.
It's a lot. It's a lot of work.
Oh my God.
It's nonstop.
Yeah.
And, it really is about the systems. And you know, mine's not perfect. It's always going to evolve, and I'm learning. And yeah, hopefully the income starts coming in so I can start hiring some staff and start focusing on other things. But literally, it's just like we'd get down with the class. I'd be like, okay, everyone that's signed up for a challenge, or if you're on a membership and we haven't done your nutritional consultation, I have a calendar up front with open time. So if you just want to put your name and phone number in right there, we'll set it up then, because I don't have time to like try to figure it out on the side. So yeah, and then I had people signing up that way, and then for my workouts, I literally set it up the night before. So before I go home, I get all my workouts set up. That way, when I come in the morning, it's ready to go.
Right.
Yes.
Is that a vacuum?
Yeah, definitely. That's like the last thing I'll do. Either the last thing or the very first thing I do in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we vacuum a few times a day, but again, I'll just say that my wife and I are putting in a lot of hours, and it is exhausting. And you get to the point, and I'm just warning you guys, that you get to the point that you're so exhausted, it's really hard to be nice to people who are not bright. They don't understand fitness the way we do. They don't eat the way we do. And you want to be compassionate and kind and understanding and listen, but you're so tired by the end of the week, like Friday, and you can't afford to be cranky, right? You just can't.
Right.
So whatever you can do to disconnect, get help, guys. Don't Eric is like, I don't know how much of a Superman he is, but he's got to be. Anybody trying to do this alone, crazy.
Not only that, Dylan, you know, going it alone, I know that people are doing it because there's a financial reason behind it.
Yeah.
I also know that going in it alone is potentially compromising. Well, it's not potentially, it will compromise your growth, because just as Eric said, you know, he doesn't have the time to stop, talk to somebody, schedule their nutrition appointment, that type of thing. That can seriously slow your growth.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I think the one thing that's been working well for me, though, is that I have been doing this for a long time. I've worked in fitness camps and things like that. And so it's literally like, whether the group's in the lobby area, I'm just like, hey, how did your daughter do in her gymnastics meet? You know, like, how did you guys have fun on your trip? And I've really just created this atmosphere already. And just like every single day I'm having someone bring someone new in, or I'm having someone new sign up just from my positivity and just bringing that awesome environment. Yes, it is a lot of work, but
so Eric, are you actually all by yourself?
I'm all by myself. My wife has her own full-time job, so she's not able to help out very much. I'm literally a one-man show. Everything.
So what do you think? What's your conversion from like the trials to members?
So I've only been open since May 1st. Everyone that's on a 21-day trial right now,
okay,
will be signing up for a membership.
That's great.
Membership. I have 12 people already signed up on a membership. I actually had 4 people already pay 6 months paid in full. I've had 2 other people pay 12 months paid in full. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just really just showing them that I know what I'm doing as far as the workouts go, being able to help them with their journey and their goals. I'm even straight up. I'm saying, you know, that's what I'm good at, is the fitness side. Yeah, there's going to be hiccups with the business, corporate side, the software and things like that. As long as I can keep you guys coming in here and you're getting your good workouts in, you're feeling good throughout the day, you're keeping a positive environment, and that's really what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
Eric brings up a really good point, and this goes back to the opening marketing. If you don't have a great culture, if you don't show them the love, it doesn't matter how many people you have, they won't come back. And by the same token, once you get a good group of people, if you can fill your doors with your first challenge, if you can get 100 people in there and you service the hell out of them, they will love you. They will love you. And then your marketing afterwards, it's much easier because they will sing your praises. We have people who write reviews on Facebook without us even asking. We've been open 2 months. We have 60 something reviews. People just write stuff. People tell their friends, you can't believe this new boot camp. Everybody's so nice. They're so positive. So the key steps are filling up that massive email list that Quan is having you build, then filling your gym with a challenge. A challenge, huge amount of work, and then love them, and they'll bring you people. They'll bring you referrals. It's a good starting point. Absolutely. Then the marketing is like, okay, I can take a breath on the marketing, but you've got to love them so that they'll refer you to their friends.
Yeah.
Hear a piano.
That's my little one playing. It's practicing. So I might have mentioned I have this long permitting process, and my attorney has said that I have a good chance of getting my approval in August. He also said if you don't get it in August, you're not going to get it until probably first of the year, because it's election year. This election year, right? And so I guess people who, I guess we all know there's people who work at like municipalities and town halls. They're just the world's laziest human beings. So they're going to be working on election stuff, and they don't want to hear from anybody, right? But since my attorney has said, look, you got a good shot at getting the approval by August, I've decided that I'm going to target back to school. Talking to Dustin, he said, definitely target 3 weeks after you're open, after back to school. And, and so that's what I've done. And now I have, with the marketing strategy that we've come up with, the 100 days, I've counted backwards. I've counted backwards to fill in all the dates of what I need to accomplish on a periodic basis. So, I don't know if anyone else plans on opening in September, but what I've been told for all of you who are, great, Jody, September is supposed to be a flat-out amazing time to open. There are three periods during the year that are great. That's back to school, that's New Year's, and then spring. So those three are supposed to be really amazing. Not that you can't have a great open all the other times, but those are the peak times to open. So, I don't know what I'm going to do once I start putting it out there that I plan to open in September. If, something goes against me and the town doesn't approve me, do I roll the dice and just say, screw you guys, I'm opening, come and slap me on the wrist because they play stupid like I didn't know. Sam, come on in here. My other one. She's singing. Now get out of here. Can you close that door, please? I don't know if any of you guys have ever experienced or heard of people just opening without all their approvals and just playing dumb.
Nope.
I've heard of other people trying that and doing that, and nothing really happens. But what I would hate is to get the worst case scenario is they shut me down, right? but
With a fine.
with a fine. And the best case scenario is they say, oh, that's okay, which I don't think is going to happen. But I think at a minimum, they'll fine me of some type. So I guess I need to talk it over with my attorney and say, look, I'm staying positive, and I really believe I can get this open by September. But if people decide to work really slow and I don't get my hearing and approval by that August, how he feels about me just going ahead and just opening without the approvals and playing dumb.
Hey, Kwanzaa, you need to find out how much the fine would be and take a quarter of that and go find the person that holds your fate on their desk and, make it happen.
Well, here's the problem with that is, and in general, right, this is how it's done.
It is New York.
Yeah. The problem with that is this particular municipality has been fraught with scandal over the years, and many people have gone to jail.
Wow.
Scandal, and this is why things are going slow. And I've spoken to everybody I can, those people who are considered expediters, zoning attorneys, architects, and they've all given me the same answer. You're looking at a 6 to 8 month process.
All right, I got to jump off. Unfortunately, I have work to do. I'm going right back to work. This was fun though, and I'd love to hear Eric's stuff on Claretti.
Yeah, I'll try.
Let's connect on that, and I think we should bug the hell out of Zach until he gives us a lowdown, like a dive into FitPro Tracker, because I think everybody could use it.
Or I could get I could get Antonio to come on and just do a question and answer session.
That would be good. I'd like to see how to set stuff up, because we're at that stage. And I see Tatiana's nodding too. Like I think that we're in. Like I don't think Antonio needs to sell the people on the Snort page. I think he needs to show us what to do. Like if he could walk like 15 people on this page through the setup and setting up some automation, some simple stuff, like he would get raving fans for life.
Here's what I'll do. On the new owners page, I'm going to put out a post requesting the top things that they want set up in FitPro Tracker.
On the new owners page?
On the new owners page, because that's a wider audience. And then I'll post it as well as this Snort page.
All right, good. Because I got kicked off the new owners page.
Yeah, I'll post it to both.
Perfect. All right.
And then I will ping Antonio and say, Antonio, look, we want to call and we want you to walk us through, screen share, and show us how to do this. Boom.
That'd be awesome.
And you get big fans.
Big fans.
Yep.
All right, man. Thanks for setting that up, Quan. And good.
Daddy.
And if any of you guys have any questions that I can answer, just shoot them over on the Snort page. I'm happy to help. I don't have all the answers, but if I do, I'm happy to share.
Same here. If I can help out, just reach out.
Oh, yeah, Eric. As soon as we get off, I'm going to friend you just so I can keep tracking you down for that contract thing.
Okay.
All right. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Daddy.